Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Great Men Taking Over the World. I'm Ren, and today I'm going to be looking at a platformer for the Sega Genesis, Rocket Knight Adventures. So, Rocket Knight Adventures, how I got into it, kind of one of those random games that I'm not sure exactly how we got, but I'm sure we saw it like at a discount in one of the stores for like 20 bucks or less. We may have heard about it, bought it kind of on a whim, and it's one of those games that we didn't regret. It was actually really good, because back in that day, you would buy games in the store you might not know about, and you could end up with a real turd. You didn't have the internet to look shit up, to look up videos and all that stuff the way that you do now. So we really lucked out. This was like a pretty cool, unique game. My initial impressions of the game were that it was just a unique, charming looking platformer. Starred this character, the Rocket Knight Sparkster, who's an opossum. The graphics were phenomenal. They really kind of pushed the system with its hardware and all that stuff. There's a lot of cool effects, a lot of stuff in the foreground, the background, explosions going on, water details, all the like waterfalls and stuff like that. I really like the style of it, like in terms of like the machines that you see. Like there's like these big cool contraptions that all the enemies are riding, and the bosses and whatnot. They're in these like weird pig mechs and all this kind of stuff, and then you fly into the city and it just looks really cool how it's just like this kind of like, I don't know, it's like an industrious type of like, I don't know how to describe it.
An opossum fighting against a pig city.
Yeah, so basically it's an opossum fighting a pig in their city and all that stuff throughout the lands. And you're also going up against the, like one of the traders of the Rocket Knights. His name is Axel Gear. He's like the Dark Knight that you have to go off against too, that's serving the pigs, the main big pig guy. And he's the one who steals the princess away, and you have to go and, track her down and rescue her from these pig fuckers. Controls are pretty tight. It's a pretty responsive game, platforming is good, but the most unique aspect of it is that Sparkster has this jetpack backpack which allows him to either just like shoot across the screen whichever 8 directions you want to go. So you go left and right across the screen, up and down, diagonal. And this is really cool, not just in terms of like fighting enemies, but like in actually traversing the level, as you can kind of bounce around off the walls to get higher ground. And the game implements this kind of gameplay mechanic really well. It felt very unique because it was cool that like since he's an opossum, he could hang off of trees and like vines and stuff like that, but then combine that with like shooting from like, vine to vine or branch with that was very unique. I love the variety in this game because you got like all the crazy flying sequences, you have all the the minecart stuff, you have going back and forth between the waterfalls, underwater sections, little elevator stuff, chase sequences where you got to run away from the flames and giant mechs and stuff. Oh, I love the like awesome mech battle that you do against the Axel Gear dude towards the end. That was pretty sweet. My favorite levels in general are the shooter stages. So basically you get this power up and you just start flying across the screen and it turns into a full-on shooter, where you're just like shooting all the enemies down, and you're flying over over awesome lakes, and it's playing this like kick-ass music with like mountain backdrop and all that stuff. You also do one throughout the city like that, in the pig city. And then you go to outer space even at the end and fly around like that. And that kind of reminded me like Super Sonic throughout like Sonic and Knuckles, where you're tracking down Robotnik. Yeah, there's even like a death egg. They call it the Pig Star, which is like, after you beat the pig castle, you go to the Pig Star. Then there's that cool section in the cavern where you have to see the reflection of the water in order to see the platforms that you can't see normally. I thought that was really cool. That's probably like one of my favorite areas in the game too, with the awesome red water type thing. Yeah, the music is actually really good in this game. It's not the like super most memorable game, but like considering what's in there, it's pretty unique, pretty good. It really gets you amped up for the fights, the boss fights, and it's just like really cool background music that you can be humming later on and all that. It's really charming. This is a Konami game. It's Genesis exclusive, not on the Super Nintendo, so that was pretty cool.
But look, Sparkster was a sequel that was also for Super Nintendo as well as Genesis. But this first one was Genesis exclusive.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet to have that.
Yeah, and I think they made like a 360 or like one for the newer platforms. I remember playing it with Silver, and it was kind of like a watered down version of it. It didn't feel the same.
It was like a remake kind of thing.
I don't know if it was like a reboot, remake type of thing, but it felt completely different. It felt way too modern in terms of like the character was way too small, and it didn't feel right. It didn't feel.
Yeah, I saw that like on the internet.
Right.
It didn't look right.
So this is definitely a hard game. It's like very much in the vein of these kind of old school platformer type games of the 16-bit era that are kind of merciless, and they're not that long, but because of that they're so hard and require so much trial and error in order to get better and to progress in the game. Yeah, this game will kick your ass. So watch out for those pig fuckers. So I'm going to give Rocket Knight Adventures a good 8 out of 10. This game is actually really good for that era. It's really polished. The gameplay, the variety, the jetpack, all that stuff was really good. The graphics and the music just made it an overall really solid, awesome package. Yeah, there's not really that many shortcomings about it. It's just like it has its originality with the jetpack, but we've already seen so much like other superior games like Sonic and all that type of stuff anyway.
Not as good as Sonic or Mario or Earthworm Jim maybe, but it's still really good. The dynamic, unique gameplay mechanics make it shine, and the character design.
Yeah, it was definitely very unique. I totally recommend this game, but it's not like the most nostalgic game for me that I've ever played, but I do remember this one as being a unique game from the 90s era. So guys, thanks for joining me on another episode where I looked at this cool platformer. And be sure to hit the subscribe button for more cool videos coming your way. Until next time, see you later. I'm Ren. Today I'm going to be talking about a classic Sega... fucking shit. Okay. So guys, thanks for joining me on another... It starred this character, the Rocket Knight, named Sparkster. He was an opossum, like that weird freaking animal that you always see that you run over when you're when you're driving.
I never did.
I did. I think I ran over one before.
Oh man.
Yeah, not on purpose. It was just dark. Those nocturnal beasts.
Yeah, don't put it in.
Don't put that.
Don't put that in.